What's up, guys? Today we're here to talk some free agency news in the NBA. My name is Robert, aka The Goose. I got my boy here, Real OG Skates. Before we begin, we just wanted to invite you to please like, comment, subscribe. You can follow our Instagram, Real Men Real Sports. On Twitter, RealMen_sports. Let's get right to it.
All right, so we're going to talk Western Conference today. It's day 3. Had some big contracts drop today. But we're going to talk the last 3 days of free agency, kind of how we feel. We don't want to spend too much time. We're not going to do a lengthy video like some of our other ones, but we definitely just want to talk about how crazy this free agency has been with all this money being spent.
Yeah, with that being said, what was the cap set? I didn't see. I remember it was like 95.8 million.
Yeah, right around there, 94, 95.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of money. Jesus, a lot of money.
And there was a lot of teams that had so much cap space.
Yeah, and a lot of players went back to their original teams. We were hoping for some blockbuster players changing sides. A lot of them stuck right where they were at because they were able to get those 5-year deals and big money. So let's jump into it.
4-year deals.
First one jump to is Luol Deng to the LA Lakers for 4 years, $72 million.
I've always liked Luol Deng, and I do feel like he can fit the Lakers offense. The only thing I don't like about him is he's had some injury concerns in the past. But I mean, when it comes to the Lakers, the entire dynamic of the NBA has changed with the Lakers. Big market teams every year, and Laker fans are very hopeful they're going to go out there and get their Dwight Howard when they went through that. Well, they did get Dwight Howard.
They traded for Dwight Howard, yeah, but they thought they were going to get Carmelo. They fell short.
Kevin Durant.
They thought they were going to get Kevin Durant. He didn't even want to meet with them. I mean, the Lakers.
DeMar DeRozan. I mean, they're going to miss out. So I think this move was one of those popular moves where let's get what we can get and build around. Finally, let's build around our young players. Yeah.
Although I don't like that they got Deng, who's going to basically step in and take a position from a young player. I mean, that's kind of a little bit of. I think that they would have been better off, getting some role players and kind of just taking it easy for a season.
You're talking about Ingram, Brandon Ingram?
No, I'm talking about
He's a small forward.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Brandon Ingram. I mean,
so yeah, I think Brandon Ingram starts. Luol Deng is going to come off the bench.
$72 million though for a backup. That's a lot of money.
No, I think Brandon Ingram.
We'll
starts.
see. It's gonna be. I think Brandon Ingram's gonna come off the bench at first because I don't think he's spent $72 million on a 4-year deal for some guy you're throwing on the bench.
And they also signed Jordan Clarkson. What did they sign for?
They signed Jordan Clarkson to a 4-year, $50 million deal. I like this.
That's a good move.
I do.
I was a little upset because I'm a Kings fan, and you're gonna hate me. I hate the Lakers, but I give them credit. That's a move they should have made. That should have been the first move they made.
I think D'Angelo Russell should
get traded.
I don't think he should get traded. I kind of like the 1-2 punch of D'Angelo Russell with Jordan Clarkson as shooting guard.
I think Clarkson can run the points.
I mean, they're both on the bench, bigger, stronger guys. They're not the tallest guys in the world. I think one of them's like 6'3", one's like 6'5". But they're built guys. I mean, they can get in the paint. They can absorb contact. I mean, I think you've got a stronger, backcourt now, and I think that that's a good young, centerpiece right there that you can build around. I like the move.
The only move I don't understand the Lakers made is free agency starter. I think the first contract announced was
Timofey Mozgov.
And I don't want to take away anything from Timothy Mozgov because he deserves to get paid.
Timothy.
But I think they jumped too quick on it. Way too quick.
I don't think so. I think as a Mavericks fan,
it was a $64 million
who needed
contract?
A center, yes, 4 years, $64 million. We needed a center. A lot of teams needed a center this offseason. And I think that grabbing Mozgov with his ceiling is so high. He played so well 2 years ago in the finals when they lost to Golden State. I mean, he was one of the only reasons they were in those games. It was LeBron and Mozgov all day long. I mean, they're the only consistent players there. And I think that, he had a little bit of an off season because they had to switch up their starting lineup and put Tristan Thompson at center, which a lot of them.
Still on contract?
No, he's gone. That allowed them to move faster and keep up with Golden State because they were running that small ball. Especially when Bogut went down, and you had to go Tristan Thompson. He dominated in the performance in the finals. Mozgov just wasn't built for that offense going up against Golden State. I like him in LA. I think he's a good center. I wanted him if we couldn't get Whiteside.
You guys want any center.
True. So I was a little bit sad that he was gone so fast. But the Lakers were smart. They threw a buttload of money at the guy, and he didn't even hesitate.
They had so much cap space.
He didn't even take other meetings. He was like, boom, let's get it done. I think he was the first sign.
This signing was obviously one of those things where they sat him down. It's like, look, like You're not going to get this type of deal.
I don't think they sat him down. I think they faxed it to him, and his agent was like, "This is a great deal, man. You should take this because you barely played last season." Yes. And he was like, "Sign me up."
I do think this signing is definitely in part of how are we going to fight against this small ball. The Lakers are going to be a little more up tempo now. Now that Kobe Bryant's not going to be taking up 12 minutes of the clock just dribbling around and shooting.
Yeah.
No disrespect to him, but I do think they're going to be a little bit faster, going to pass the ball a little bit more, get down in the paint with Timmy Mozgov.
Yeah, I think Mozgov adds a rebounding element that you need. He adds a presence in the paint that they have not had because Roy Hibbert is so soft. So I think the Lakers made some good moves. I mean, I'm upset just like him. I'm not a Laker fan. They were able to make some moves that are going to make them a little bit competitive. Not necessarily a playoff contender, but competitive to some of the teams in the NBA this year.
You think that Kobe Bryant's somewhere out there on the computer looking at all these deals? That
I think he's super upset.
Maybe I should just come back right now.
I think Kobe Bryant wishes he was 10 years younger right now.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people do. So moving on from the Lakers, we're going straight into DeMar DeRozan signing in Toronto. 5 years, $145 million.
That's a lot of money, but I mean, it makes a huge statement that they want to take care of DeMar DeRozan. I mean, the guy can shoot the ball, he can get in the paint, he can take contact and still dunk the ball. So
I think it's all they could have done to keep him from going to LA. I think they had to max him out, give him all that money, otherwise he was going to be.
Well, they had the advantage with that 5 year.
They did. That 5th year gave them the advantage. I mean, it's a lot of money. I mean, I like DeMar DeRozan, one of the best shooting guards right now in the league. Consistent, can do it all. And he got paid. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a little bitter about the little giant contracts being given out in the NBA right now. But he's one of the few where I feel like, compared to what everybody else is making, he needed to get paid. And Toronto, to stay relevant in the East, needed to pay him. So they didn't really have a choice. And they did what they had to do to take care of their team. And I respect them for that.
I feel like they would have really, if they would have lost DeMar DeRozan, that would have, I mean, maybe still they're like.
It would have put them. It would have put them back where Portland was last year when they lost Aldridge. You know, where it's just the Damian Lillard show. It would have been just the Kyle Lowry show. And you cannot contend with some of these bigger teams with just a star point guard. You need somebody else there scoring the ball with you, and they needed him to contend. I still don't think they're going to get to the finals like this, but at least they kept their young core together, and they can now build on that core to remain competitive. Moving along to another LA team, the Clippers have an offer sheet right now to Jamal Crawford, who I hear is still taking meetings.
Yeah,
so it's not for sure that he's going to accept this, but right now he's got an offer sheet from the Clippers for 3 years, $42 million. Wow. So this,
I think you don't like that deal. I think you have to pay Jamal Crawford. He's proven, yes, he's old. He's on the backside of 30 something.
Yeah, I think this deal came out right after Durant said that he's not going to LA.
Yeah.
He came out and said that he was not going to the Clippers, and right instantly they had an offer sheet with Jamal Crawford.
Yeah.
Crawford originally was upset because Austin Rivers got a better deal than him. Which, by the way, guys, we're not even going to cover that in this thing because I don't like to cover Austin Rivers because I think it's bogus that his dad is in control, and that right there is like you're just setting your son
looking
up
at
to
the
succeed, even though he's not that great.
That's a guy I wanted on my team, but
Austin Rivers has upside. He does. But, I mean, the Clippers, man, I mean, he's being babied in this league by his dad, and I think that he's getting a little more credit than he deserves.
I think the interesting thing I'm starting to see with the NBA now is that it's unusual now. The big markets are becoming the desperate teams.
Absolutely.
Not fully, because there's still teams like my teams where we know we're going to miss out on these big.
But I think it's because the smaller markets drafted so well 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That now those teams are becoming the Lakers and the Celtics of their time. You got to be an OKC. They drafted Durant and they drafted Westbrook. And those two guys now are two of the best in the league at what they do, and that is a core.
Technically, Durant was drafted by the
same team though. But now that core has taken OKC to be this, big contender that people want to play for.
Yeah.
LeBron, Cleveland situation's funny because they drafted LeBron, did nothing with him. He left. They were able to draft Kyrie Irving. Then LeBron went back, and then they traded for Kevin Love because they also drafted Andrew Wiggins. So that team was set up
There was a lot
to
of flip-flopping.
succeed because they drafted Kyrie Irving and Andrew Wiggins, possibly two of the best players to come
And
out
that's what I
in the
can
last
see
5
a lot of
years.
the big market teams like the Lakers. I can see
Yeah.
them trading their youngsters. I really
And
can. I
the
thought they were gonna-
Lakers relied so much on coaching and their owner. He was able to bring so much to LA.
Yeah.
People wanted to play for the Lakers because they had a pedigree going to the finals. Kobe, Shaq.
They're proven winners. They're
you know,
proven champions.
But then Shaq left, and Kobe was able to do it for a couple more seasons, but he had a stacked squad around him doing it. And then when that squad started getting traded or started retiring, Kobe was left by himself, and his attitude forced people to not want to play with him. But yeah, a lot of the big market teams are going down. I mean, San Antonio, this might be their last season to contend.
With Tony Parker.
With Tony Parker, Ginobili, and Duncan. But they've got a good young core going forward with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. So we're getting a little off topic right now, but yeah, it's true. A lot of the bigger markets are struggling right now, including my Dallas Mavericks. We've got a lot of money. We've got a great owner and one of the best coaches, I think, in the NBA right now. Most consistent coaches for sure. We've been to the playoffs 15 out of the last 16 years, and we are struggling to bring people in. And I don't understand it. Like, I don't know if it's the money or if it's the scenery or if it's the playoff wins or how far people get in the playoffs, but people are choosing to go to smaller teams.
I think a good move. Because I think the next player we're going to touch base on is Ryan Anderson. I like Ryan Anderson. That's somebody who was high on my list as a Sacramento Kings fan. We needed someone that can come in and stretch the floor. He can rebound. Not so solid on the defensive end. He's okay, kind of mediocre in my opinion.
He got big money. He got 4 years, $80 million. He got average $20 million a year.
I give the Rockets so much credit that he's going to flourish there.
Well, the Rockets, they freed up a lot of cap space when Dwight left.
Yeah.
And they needed someone to take some pressure off of James Harden. Mm-hmm. James Harden, he was one of the best scorers in the league, but he could not do it by himself. And Trevor Ariza has fallen completely off. Like, he is just in this abyss where players go to die. Like, his three-point shot has gone drastically down. His defense has gone drastically down. He's not the player he was. They signed Patrick Beverley last year. He didn't have as great of a season as he did the season before. The team just had a lot of chemistry issues, and I think
Patrick Beverley is gonna with Ryan Anderson.
Oh yeah, I think Ryan Anderson is
gonna
bring that unselfish play to Houston, and in doing so, it's going to let James Harden still continue to have that key role, that superstar role. But they're going to spread that ball around a lot more for scoring purposes, and Ryan Anderson is that guy to do that because they can't have two superstars on that team. James Harden needs to be that center point for them to succeed.
I was really hoping that the Rockets would kind of go after Al Horford.
Yeah, I kind of thought that too, but I don't know. I guess they just didn't feel like he was worth the money. I mean, the Celtics gave him a lot of money, but we'll cover that in our Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
And then next off, Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon, also to the Houston Rockets. 4 years,
deal, not too
4
much,
years,
right?
$53 million. I mean, that was probably one of the better deals signed. As far as
One of the better deals.
the better deals as far as the amount of money that was spent versus
I do not agree
versus
with that.
what they got in return.
He's one of those. I think every year he plays like maybe a minimum of 63 games, maybe on the lower end of that.
But I think with the Rockets, they don't need him to come in there and be that every. He doesn't need to play 30 minutes a game for the Rockets.
Yeah.
He's going to provide a lot of relief off the bench. And, James Harden, he averages like 32 minutes a game, 34 minutes a game. I mean, the guy's in there all the time.
Yeah.
So I think that having that relief and having someone come in there who could score the ball for you off the bench, because last year
James Harden's going to start.
Houston did not have a bench. That was one of their biggest things. They never had a bench.
What I do like is that he is a better defender than James Harden.
Everyone's a better defender. I can tell you better defense than James Harden.
Can you?
Yeah.
You're supposed to video of you doing it.
I should. James Harden is a terrible defender. Terrible defender.
Oh, man.
So moving forward, we're going to cover one more, which I'm sure is going to be a lengthy talk because it's the one team that spent the most money. And then we're going to talk Sacramento Kings and Dallas Mavericks. The Memphis bleeping Grizzlies. Okay. Wow.
He was the best point guard on the market.
$247 million. No, $247 million. $247 million
Between him and Parsons?
2 players.
Jesus.
Now let's start with Mike Conley.
Like I said, he was the best point guard on the market.
He is the best point guard on the market.
I wanted Mike Conley.
Originally, I was very upset at the amount of money Mike Conley get. Because I'm like, 150, you're talking like That's LeBron money. Now, don't get me wrong. LeBron and Durant are going to trump Mike Conley, especially LeBron. Because LeBron is going to stay in Cleveland, so he's going to sign the 2-year deal with the player option. He's going to get the max deal for 1 year, $30 million.
Somehow I would not be surprised
And then
if he
he's
has
gonna-
a smaller contract in.
No, he won't.
I
Absolutely.
don't think so.
No.
I wouldn't be surprised, is all I'm saying.
And then next year he's going to opt out, and he's going to get the huge contract.
Yeah.
Durant, same thing. Do not be surprised if Kevin Durant signs a 2-year deal with a player option, backs out after the first year, and signs a humongous deal. So the salary cap's going to go up again. So Mike Conley's deal is big for now. Next year, it will not be the biggest, guaranteed.
No.
He is not as good as LeBron James. He is not as good as Kevin Durant. The thing I think that makes me mad about Mike Conley's deal is we have so many seasoned players, so many amazing players at their position who have gotten shafted in the past 5 years for contracts. One of them, okay, Sacramento King, DeMarcus Cousins. DeMarcus Cousins is making like $17 million a year.
He got a max deal.
Then,
Yeah.
now DeMarcus Cousins should
Oh, that
be,
contract looks amazing right now. I'm like,
yeah,
woo!
that kind of stuff. If I'm one of those players who just signed my max deal in the last 3 years, I'm really upset.
Yeah.
But
That's what they wanted.
It
That's
is a
what
bad
the
agent. It's
union,
bad
their union
agents.
fought
You know,
for
it's
this.
your agent should have told you sign a 2-year deal, then sign another 2. You know, do what you got to do.
That's why he
But
fired
the
his
thing is,
agent.
though, is that when you have concerns with your youth and your team or injuries, it's scary to sign a 2-year deal. Because what if you tear an ACL and then you have no deal?
The Mike Conley deal, where I stand, it doesn't upset me because if you follow me on Twitter, it's Pro Dynasty. Please follow me on Twitter. I had mentioned it's like this guy deserved to get paid. He really did because he's played effective in the playoffs. They haven't gotten far in the
didn't
playoffs,
even play a
but
full season though. That's my biggest concern.
my biggest concern is fully guaranteed.
Yeah,
That's
fully guaranteed.
I don't
Okay.
care how much he got, but fully guaranteed.
So this
Wow.
topic for me is going to take you right into Chandler Parsons. He
Oh, you
did not play a
can't
full
stand that guy.
season. Okay, to pay a point guard $153 million fully guaranteed who did not finish the season.
Yep.
That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Okay, now into Chandler Parsons. 4 years.
$94 million.
$94 million. I don't care if he's 27 years old. I don't care if he was 21 years old. This guy has been hurt the last 2 seasons. He played the season with the Rockets, signed a 3-year deal with Dallas, and did not play the full season for either of those seasons. He was hurt both seasons. One of which because his shoe company messed up his signature shoe and he messed up his ankle. That is the dumbest thing ever. I was a huge Chandler Parsons supporter. At his best, when he's healthy, he can get into the paint. His ability to get to the rim is amazing. He's a great shooter, great defender. My issue with Chandler Parsons, as a Mavericks fan,
His
is
defense?
that
Subpar defender.
he came in and said he wanted to be the future of Dallas. He was going to stay with Dallas, do everything for Dallas.
So basically, he's a scumbag.
He ran away the second that we said we were not going to give him a max deal. You did not. This is the same problem I have with Kobe Bryant. You did not play full seasons. What makes you think you deserve a max contract when you did not play full seasons? You owe me a 2-year deal with a player option to show me that you are worth that money. Give me a season where you stay healthy and play to your potential, then I'll give you a max contract. Because we wanted to max out Chandler Parsons. We liked Chandler Parsons when we got him. That's why we signed him to a 3-year deal so he could opt out
He's
and get
definitely a
paid.
unique player. Like, I mean, I like Chandler Parsons, what he's capable of doing. He can shoot the ball really well.
And he's built like a beast. He's 6'10".
Yeah, he's
he
fine.
looks like he's 6'4". When you look at the guy, he looks like he's 6'4". And then you see him in person, he's gigantic. But to pay a guy that much money who has not played a full season in 3 seasons, to me, Memphis is in desperation mode.
Yeah.
They are just throwing money at everybody and anybody.
They're going to have to rely a lot on the defensive side of the ball. They're going to really have to rely on Marc Gasol, Conley,
So, and then here's my point with Memphis.
Allen. Like,
You
pick up
have
the slack
Marc
there.
Gasol hurt last year, Conley hurt last year, Parsons hurt last year,
2 surgeries in the past.
and you've got a lot of money in these guys.
But together, they're made of 51% of their salary.
And
That's just
51% of
ridiculous,
the salary, and they did not even finish their last season.
And I guarantee you, I'm willing to say this publicly, they get eliminated in the first round for the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'll honestly go on record and say that more than likely Parsons is going to get hurt next year. He will not play a full season because he got hurt in the beginning of the year, came back, and was hurt again. We shut him down twice last year. So that to me is not something you spend $94 million on. And as a Mavericks fan, I mean, I'll just go into the Mavericks since we're talking Parsons anyway, and then we'll end with Sacramento because they actually did some positive things. The Mavericks are messing up hardcore. So Parsons, I don't think it's worth the money. I'm excited to watch Memphis basketball to see how it plays out, but I think they made a big mistake putting so much guaranteed money into Mike Conley without any insurance, and putting so much money into Chandler Parsons with his track record the last 2 seasons. I think it's a bad mistake. I think it comes to bite him in the butt, and I think they're going to regret it. Now, Dallas, we've done one thing, and that is submitted offer sheets for 4 years, $95 million to Harrison Barnes.
What are you guys doing, man? You guys are.
This is desperation at its best.
They remind me kind of the Lakers being a little bit desperate.
But
they missed out on Dwight.
But they got better players. I mean, Harrison Barnes has a lot of potential. Don't get me wrong. He came off the bench. He never got a chance to consistently get minutes. He never got a chance to get going.
You're right.
So there's a chance that he can come in and he could be a really good player for the Mavericks.
He can shoot the ball. He can defend. The only thing is just that.
And don't get me wrong.
I don't know if I can trust him for that much money.
I'll go on record and say this: if we bring back Darren Williams, if we bring back Dwight Powell, possibly even Zaza Pachulia if we have to, that gives us the same exact team we had last year with Harrison Barnes instead of Chandler Parsons.
Did you guys already pick up a center? I thought you guys did.
No, we drafted a center.
You know who you guys should have signed was Bismack Biyombo.
Yeah, he won too much money. Anyways,
I would have.
So guys, that's my thing. Harrison Barnes has a chance to be our Chandler Parsons. We weren't as big on Barnes as we were on Parsons when we drafted when we signed Parsons. But if he can stay healthy, then automatically he's better than Parsons.
Now, if Durant goes to the Warriors, if he doesn't go to the Warriors, do you think he's going to match? They're going to match Warriors?
No, I don't think they can. Even if they don't get Durant, matching that deal puts them in a horrible position money-wise.
Yeah,
because
you have Russell Westbrook to think about.
Yeah, and they have so much coming up that they need to address money-wise in the next couple of years. And giving him that much money puts them in a really tight spot. So honestly, I don't even think he's worth $95 million.
You know what I think the next bizarre contract was Evan Turner.
We're not talking East right now.
Evan Turner signed with the Blazers.
Oh, that's right, he did.
He's in the West.
Yeah.
$70 million, 4 years.
Yeah, that's...
For a bench player.
But here's what I'll say about that.
They might start him.
Here's why I don't disagree with it. Who else do they have?
Damian Lillard.
Exactly.
And then they let Crab walk.
So this is my problem too with Dallas, guys. I mean, when you don't have anybody, you have to spend that kind of money. Mm-hmm. I mean, these role players become starters and become big money guys because there's just nobody else to go get. So I think that the Blazers had no other choice than to throw that kind of money at Evan Turner because they're hoping that he lives up to the contract. Mm-hmm. And I mean, honestly, the $70 million is the new $40 million in the NBA. Like a couple years ago, we had guys that were getting $40 million, like Jordan Hill. I remember got a $40 million deal
with the Lakers,
and we were like, "What is they doing?" And now $40 million is the new 70. It's the $70 million now. Yeah. Now people are getting $70 million.
Was it with the Knicks, Jordan Hill?
Yeah. Now people are getting $70 million as opposed to the $40 million, and it's just blowing us away. Yeah. So the last thing I want to talk about in this free agency for the West is Sacramento Kings. I'll let you take this one over since they're your team.
Now, this guy walked on me when I was watching the NBA draft, and when we missed out on all the Kevin, why am I blinking out? All the guards that we needed. We traded and we ended up getting 3 picks. Vlade Divac, I'm putting a lot of faith in him this year. I'm trying to wait till I see results. Summer League. But I do like what we did in free agency. I wasn't happy. I was glad that we didn't re-sign Rondo. We went with the Nets. Or the Bulls. The Bulls. Yeah. I did not want to pay him that much money. I mean, he lacked on the defensive side of the ball. He led the league in assists, which that's something that we've lacked, is someone that can distribute the ball. But quite frankly, with all the legal issues that Darren Collison, he got 2 years, $28 million. Okay. Fully guaranteed.
I would give Rondo $14 million if he gives me 5 years.
What do you mean, 5 years productivity?
No. If you give me if he signs a 5-year contract, you sign a 5-year contract, $14 million a year, I would sign Rondo for that. But Rondo is doing the thing he did last year. He wants a $2 million deal with a player option so he can prove himself and then get paid next year.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm not willing to spend $14 million on a player that could be gone in a year.
The thing I'm afraid of is that losing DeMarcus Cousins, there's been so much issues with everyone's like, oh, trade DeMarcus Cousins. Oh, we're going to lose DeMarcus. Everything's riding on how well we do this year. Are we playoff contenders?
Is this his last season?
Quite frankly,
contract?
It's his, I think it's his last year.
2017, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It might be 2018. I may be incorrect. I don't know this.
So we're looking at maybe 1 to 2 years to show DeMarcus Cousins that he should stay.
Yeah.
And here's the scary thing, too, guys, about DeMarcus Cousins. So remember, I mentioned earlier, $17 million a year is what he's averaging in his contract. Yes, the Kings can offer him a 5th year. But if they do not show that they can be a winning franchise, is it worth making a little less money when taking that one less year when the money is going to be so large for the first 4? Yes, the Kings can give you that extra 5th year, but you were making 17. He can go anywhere next year and make 25, 26. So is that 5th year enough to keep Cousins in Sacramento if they can't show that they're winning?
DeMarcus Cousins is very loyal. I don't care what people say.
True.
He's a very loyal player. He loves Sacramento. He loves the fan base. I think it's all going to ride on how we did. I mean, everyone blew up it out of proportion. That tweet that he sent out during the draft, like, "Oh Lord, God, give me will," or whatever he said.
I think that loyalty only goes so far, though.
I think we did well this draft. Besides taking Giorgio Papagiannis, number 13, I was not thrilled about that. We already have a center. We have Kufitz. But I do think Vlade Divac does have something planned out. We have a lot of bigs on our roster right now.
Talking signings here. You haven't mentioned one.
What?
Back to free agency. Not all about Kings basketball.
All right. My favorite signing was Aaron Flala. We've been looking at this guy the past 3 years, and we kept missing on him. But now that he was kind of one of the low-end veteran players on the market, I like this signing. Someone that can come in and play some defense.
You got him for change, basically. Yeah. Compared to what other people were getting, you got him for change. Like, I mean, realistically, dude, the guy is making so much less money.
2 years, $25 million.
Yeah, I mean, $12.5 million average, and he's got so much upside. Yeah. He fits your system, and I think that you just can't go wrong with that.
He's a team player, and I think what the Kings need right now is good locker presence. And I like the fact that we picked up Anthony Tolliver. We got him on all of our deals have been 2-year deals. 1 3-year deal with when we signed the other guard that we signed today. I forgot his name. Garrett Temple. Someone that could shoot the ball.
A lot of young players.
Yeah,
a lot of young players.
And that's what we need right now. We need people that can shoot the ball because we're struggling with McLemore, who is inconsistent.
Yeah.
I like him on the defense. I hope we don't trade him in a way just because I just want to see what he can become. What is his potential? Because the problem with being a Kings fan is that we miss out on all this product. We draft somebody or we let them go. Hence the Isaiah Thomas. Like that. Hassan Whiteside.
You don't give them a chance to develop.
Yeah, we're definitely a dysfunctional franchise, but I'm going to stick here, thick and through like a real fan does. So.
Speaking of dysfunctional, let's talk Matt Barnes.
I love Matt Barnes. He wanted to come to Sacramento, man. He's been saying it. It's his hometown.
Maybe it's because you guys have someone that's actually a little more dysfunctional than he is, DeMarcus Cousins.
Well, they're both kind of fucking hotheads.
I would worry about Matt Barnes. I do. Ever since the fiasco with him and...
Dude, we got him super cheap, $6 million.
You did. You got him really... But, I mean, is he going to be a plague in the locker room? Is he going to be a plague on the court? I mean, the guy's got a huge mouth. He's got a negative attitude. He tried to beat up Derek Fisher. I mean, the guy is just... He's so dysfunctional. And, I mean, I think there's no doubting that he is an NBA player. He's
Derek Fisher gets punched by everybody.
He can be a quality player. He can play decent defense. He's got a decent shot. But at the end of the day, I mean, I'd worry about bringing in any kind of dysfunction or negative attitude when you have such a.
There was so much roster locker room problems last year. It was so everybody was just upset with the coaching decision, sitting DeMarcus Cousins, suspending him for a game. I don't think we're going to have that with Dave Yeager there. I do think that he's a proven coach.
I think
he can win. He's a defensive-minded coach. We finally have someone that I hope we can keep long-term. We have a lot of optimistic things to look at next year with the new arena.
True.
I mean, a lot of people hate the Kings. The media hates the Kings. I don't. I love the Kings. I do think that they're possibly going to be flirting with the playoffs. But quite frankly, it all depends on what we continue to do and how all the summer league goes. Willie Cauley-Stein's development.
Okay, so this is not Kings talk 101.
You had your opportunity, man, with the Mavericks.
But I talked free agency. I didn't just talk like the future of my franchise.
Well, Matt Barnes is going to come in. Back to Matt Barnes because that's what we were.
I think, guys,
he's going to be the guy who can bang the ball from the outside, bang the ball from the corner three, and Caspi can do that.
I think he gives you what you used to have in Thornton. That spot up shooter that you used to have in Thornton. I think Matt Barnes is that guy that you never replaced that guy. When they let Thornton go, they never replaced him with somebody who could shoot that 3-ball, and it restricted the Kings, and it made it so easy to play defense against them because you never had to worry about that.
So if I had to summarize our free agency so far, I think what we're looking at is we knew we were going to miss out on our Courtney Lee. We kind of had a feeling we were going to miss out on Ryan Anderson, who really our entire front office was high on, but I think what we did is that we're really developing. I think that the dynamic of the NBA right now is load up on young players because look at these deals these players are getting. Yeah. So when it comes to increased cap space, I think Vlade Divac was smart to load up on big man because you can't get them every single year. I hope that we strike. And I think the landscape of our free agency is that we locked up a lot of veterans that we need. That's been the problem for our entire team is having veteran presence in the locker room. And I think Dave Yeager is the perfect type of coach that can hopefully keep a positive relationship between all the entire roster. So
sum up free agency, guys. I think so far, 3 days in, we're seeing a lot of players that should have gone to other teams to help rebuild.
I was looking for an entire shuffle of the NBA.
And honestly, it's not going to happen anymore. It might in like 5 years. When all this cap space is then gone. But every team had cap space this year. I mean, everybody had cap space. I mean, you had people signing huge deals. You had players that should have had to leave their old teams. The only one that so far looks like he's forced to leave his old team is Dwayne Wade. And that's because they offered him some janky $10 million deal. And he played really well last year. He deserved at least $15, $20 million. And they totally lowballed him with that $10 million offer. But I think that forces the NBA... It's going to be a stagnant league for at least 2 or 3 years because a lot of players are just going to re-sign because they're going to want that big money deal, and these teams can afford to give it to them.
It's all going to depend on the draft now.
So, needless to say, guys, this is a 3-day kind of recap on the West. We're going to do one more video tonight about the East, kind of do something a little simple. Obviously, we won't be talking to Kings basketball for half an hour because the Kings are not in the East. But you know what? We're going to keep it small and simple. We're probably going to end up, actually, I think next it's a good idea, just to kind of sit down and just talk Kings-Mavericks basketball. Something me and Robert have a lot of heated discussions on. He's a big basketball fan. He knows a lot about the Mavericks the last 10 years. I actually know pretty decent.
That's going to be on a different playlist.
We've been there for 15 years.
I can already imagine how much heat I'm going to get in the comment section, but bring it on. Bring on the heat because I'm ready to respond.
But no, going forward, then not every basketball discussion is going to break out into a rant about the Kings. So, but I think it'll be good to have a discussion maybe about Kings Mavs just so that we can kind of get that out in the open so that it doesn't kind of bleed into our other videos. But this is a recap of the West. We're going to do our recap of the East, and then we're going to probably call it a night for that. But we definitely got more videos coming up. We're going to keep you posted on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all about the big names and the big stuff going on in free agency. We'll be there ranting. You can find Robert at Pro Dynasty on his. Find me at the Real OG Skates on mine, and of course at @realmen_sports for our combined account. We're gonna go ahead and start going east in a minute here. Catch you guys in just a few seconds.
And please like, comment, and subscribe. Show us your thoughts and recommendations. We just, we want to.
Don't be afraid to disagree about what we say. We like the conversation. We'll definitely respond. We'll see you guys in a minute.